do you see yourself as a leader or you want to be a leader? That's also why releasing or relaxing this attention to or bond to tracking with other people or having similar habits as them, because your leadership has to come from your own orientation, not creating similar versions of what other people have created or doing similar series of actions that other people have done.
I think I think one biggest question, honestly, I just like to see what comes through.
Totally.
Is what can I do for my business to make it more successful, right? This coming year, it's really important for me. And then my second question, I think, would just be what can I work on for my own personal growth that is something that's limiting me right now?
Yes. Oh, those are both good questions. I'm going to mention one thing and then I'll keep on going, but I may come back to this. I'm noticing a sensation that feels as if it might be a little bit in the head, but it also feels like the right part of your body. I don't really know if it's pain. It feels like a little bit of heaviness, a little bit of a wall, a little bit of, I don't know if it's a burden or what. And I don't know if this is something that is showing up physically for you, or it's something that is related to other elements in your life and it may not be showing up physically. So if it's not any physical sensation that you're feeling yet, that's fine. And if it's, oh, sorry, were you going to say something?
It's not physical.
Okay, good. And I'll see, I feel like more will come on board for me to see later about that. So I'm going to keep on guiding you through a few more moments of being present and feeling whole in your body and feeling connected to your own wisdom and awareness and consciousness. With your next deep breath, calling in whatever quality you want to have for today and for the next few days. If there's a certain emotion or sensation or feeling or state of being that you're really desiring, you can let yourself feel that coming to you. Releasing with your exhale anything that doesn't suit you, that doesn't need to be attended to, that is not necessary for you in this moment. And with your next deep breath, feeling gratitude and wholeness and connection to the place where you live and or the place where you work and the land and the beauty of it and the people and all the different places that you go to interact, having a moment of how that supports you and the ways in which it currently meets your needs. And with another deep breath, having a moment to invite in and offer up the space for all of the beings who want to be supportive of you. It can be ancestors, angels, spirit guides, whatever. Friends here, departed, on the other side, seen and unseen, animals, plants. Oh, if there's other things too that aren't even, doesn't even have to be a living thing. It could be something like furniture or fabric or couches. Whatever it is that wants to offer to you support and wisdom, guidance, love, clarity, all of those incredible supportive aspects. We're inviting them all together now for you. And I want to make a note of, there's something about textiles. I don't know if this is something that it comes up for you or that you know that you have an appreciation for or a love for, or whether it's a part of your work or not, but I don't typically get such a strong feeling about fabrics and textures and textiles. So that's coming in really strongly today as something that is supportive of your happiness and joy. And I'm going to name a few of the other things that I've received thus far, and then look into the questions that you have. So as soon as I first, were you saying something? Oh, maybe it's feedback. Sorry. When I first tuned in, there's this song about the horse with no name riding through the desert. And so that came in first, which that song, for those listening or for you, whether or not you know it. So it starts out in the desert, kind of this desolate experience, but the longer the person journeying is in the desert comes to life, and there's all these magical things happening everywhere. And we have this stereotype of the desert being this lifeless, dry place, but by the end of that song, the desert is as lush as a jungle or a rainforest. So, and I also am getting this image of monkeys swinging through trees. So that was another one that came up for you. As I said, I felt that sensation that I'll look back at a moment ago. Yeah. And I don't know if it's that it's you love your couch, you need a new couch, you like relaxing on your couch, but I'm really getting this strong feelings about relaxing on your couch, the textiles in your home, and the fabrics that make you feel very just delighted by life and creative and happy. I'm going to look into the questions you have, but is there anything you want to say or ask at this moment, or you're good? Okay. Okay. So what does Brooke need to know to have more successful business in the coming year? What are the things that would be helpful for her to know or to work on or to experience? Okay, so this first thing coming through, I don't know if this is a concern that you have had before, or a thought and a feeling. The first phrase I get is you're doing it wrong, as a term, as in like your approach to it, which, sorry, I feel like that sounds like, pretty polarizing right away. Do you ever feel that way personally? Is that coming from you, do you think? Or do you ever wonder with business, like, am I going about this right, or am I doing this wrong?
Yeah, I would definitely say that for sure. I feel that.
Okay. And so after that, I asked, well, what looks more like doing it right? And I get a sense of a few things, like a few different settings that you could have. One is laying on your couch. Another is laying on the ground, depending on, I mean, it's cold right here where I am. So laying on the ground right now is not really that comfortable, but laying down, looking up at your ceiling, looking up at the sky, and this feeling of gazing at the moon and the stars and being really receptive to it. Feels that this next right way forward, if we want to call it that, since they're like, oh, there's this wrong way feeling, the right way forward is in the state of lying back. So there's total surrender and release, and looking to what comes up when you gaze at the moon and the stars. To me, it seems as if there's all of these possibilities that are waiting to be awakened in this surrendering process. And it also feels, I know there's a lot of people who talk about business and will talk about prioritizing more time for rest, and it doesn't have to be so hard and that type of thing. And it feels that this tracks with that trend, and also this sense of it more so than most business people that I interact with, it really feels like for you, this surrendering allows things to just be, when you are looking at the moon or the stars or the ceiling and daydreaming and surrendering and visualizing, the things that come up for you or get evoked for you, or the ideas that come to you, are going to feel so much more expansive, full of possibilities, and feel really easy. I get also this sensation of, like, when people are younger, a child who's lying on the ground gazing at the stars and just feeling that sense of wonder about the possibility, all the possibilities out there in the universe. So there's something about that expansiveness that feels really suited for you. And the other sensation that I get is this surrendering feels like a very pure state to accept in whatever the sky wants to gift to you. So there's also this receptivity of accepting that you could lay there and it feels like, whew, you're just, this whole idea or vision or download or whatever is just going to come to you so magnificently, that has this ability to unfold in a way that feels really complementary to your best self, your happiest version of you. And I do feel a lot of this inner child type playfulness of, and not just playfulness, but also trust. It feels like the trust that a child, not that every child is this way, but the trust that a child has of all the possibilities are just immediately available. And let's see if there's anything else that I want to elaborate with that. Yeah, and they want to clarify, like, saying you're going about it the wrong way isn't to say, like, stop everything you've done and scrap it all and, throw it in the trash and set it on fire. It's more that having this orientation on a regular basis, I don't know if it needs to be every day, of being in that deep surrendering and receptivity to the gifts that the night sky or the daytime sky can give you, is the place of orientation that will be the most successful in your business. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I want me to say directly about that. Yeah. And the other, one of the reasons I believe that this orientation they want you to do on a regular basis is that it's a little bit like resetting your mindset or your consciousness or your whole energy system, your whole body, your subconscious, to have that trust and acceptance and surrender of, it's not just possibilities. I can't exactly explain all of the feelings, but it's also the connection to everything in the universe and the wonder. That feeling feels that that's the magic place from which whatever you do from that, like whatever ideas come from that, those are the things that either your clients or the people who purchase whatever it is that you do, that really makes them get on board and get really excited about. And that's what really fuels this movement forward. So it may not be that it is radically different from what you're doing right now, but it's that your orientation regarding how you see it, the new things that you're doing. And it's quite possible that even the marketing channels that you use, they might shift, or it might just be that you come from it with such a different orientation. And they also want me to clarify, or not clarify exactly, but magnify the fact that There really is something physical about you lying there in this receptive state, because I get the sense that you could meditate sitting up or do all these other things, but it's not going to create that same openness. And it also, to me, feels there's something with the brain too about when you're having this peripheral vision, that when you're lying down, it's like you have this whole encompassing view of everything around you and can just take it in. That really feels that that's where these sparks can come from. And so they just want to highlight, don't, like, somebody might be like, well, I'm just going to sit up today and meditate and look at the sky or picture the sky. They're like, no, you actually, they want you to lie down. And so maybe back to this whole textiles thing and the couch, if you don't have a great place for that, that might be also part of this invitation, is maybe you want to have a really nice blanket that you're laying on, or a really cushy yoga mat, and then a blanket that you have over you so you don't get cold while you're lying there. And it might be that if you don't already have a place that feels comfortable to do this, that's part of your first task, is setting that up. Mm-hmm. Okay. Should I move on to your second question, or do you have any more questions about this?
No.
Okay. Okay. So what can Brooke look into or work on related to personal growth or self-growth that may or may not help with limiting beliefs and other things? What's a good area of focus? I can't remember if I said this before, but implicit in this is that the expectation, the information is for your best and highest good of you and all concerned, and what's most relevant for you to know in this immediate time frame and the near upcoming future. Mm-hmm. So I'm getting this message of, I feel like they're answering this in a roundabout way. They want you to not worry about keeping up with people. This is a phrase. I don't know if there's someone who consciously or unconsciously you're like, oh, so-and-so's doing this, and I want to make sure I do XYZ so I can keep up with them, or like track with them, because we're all on this same success track together or whatnot. But I get this letting go of anything that feels like I'm doing this to keep up with those other people, or to move at the same speed or do the same things as those other people. Letting all of that go, because your timeline, your trajectory, it's so different from theirs that even if it appears similar, trying to like track with these other people or like keep pace with them, it's almost like it creates interference with what's actually happening in your life. So, and what may or may not be also related to this, if let's say there's either a program you're in, or peers that you have, or in your community of people who it feels like this is where we are at in life, and this is what we're doing, these are the things that we do. Really not distancing yourself from the people per se, although that might come about, but distancing yourself from the belief that you have to track with someone else's trajectory to be successful, to be happy, to be fit, to be whatever, to be a good person in relationships. Any of those things, it really feels that letting that go is going to, and back to this orientation thing from before, coming from that orientation feels that that's where all of this power and success and happiness comes from. And there's a part of you, or well, lots of us, that we think, oh, well, we see such and such doing that, maybe I should do my own version of that. For you, it's really letting yourself in a way, ignore thinking that other people's paths and habits are similar to what yours are going to be, because it's, and who knows, at the end of the day, your paths might look similar 2 years back down the road if you look back, but right now it feels like any attention of that is going to be confusing or unhelpful. It doesn't keep you oriented from this earlier state before of trust and wonder and surrender. Okay, and I think there was something else about that too. So let me see. The other thing that goes along with that is I'm getting this sense of, if you see yourself as a leader or you want to be a leader, that's also why releasing or relaxing this attention to or bond to tracking with other people or having similar habits as them, because your leadership has to come from your own orientation, not creating similar versions of what other people have created or doing similar series of actions that other people have done. Yeah, so one of the beliefs that you could work with that will help with that is something along the lines of, my power and my guidance comes from within. I'm on my own track. If track doesn't appeal to you, you can picture something else. And oh, this is cute. I'm getting this visual too of you on a path to the stars, almost like with the imagery from the book, The Little Prince, this feeling of what you're doing feels just so connected to things that are going to wow people, that it really is all about you following. And maybe you don't have, I don't know if you currently have all the leadership vision that I'm referring to here yet. I don't know if that's in your experience yet, but it feels that when you are oriented with this surrender, wonder, and all of that, and honoring and reveling in your own power is one word, but it's more than just that. Your own ideas, your own trajectory, that really is where you get on this fast track to just zooming up to the stars. And there's something about, any one of us, it's easy to look around and be like, well, what are other people doing? But it really feels like the more you can just let all that go, and I'm not even going to pay attention to that, which might also mean you may have to create some habits or structures so that it's almost, you put blinders on for what other people are doing, or find a way to just reset if you notice yourself getting pulled into that. Because your leadership is going to come from within, and or, like I said, falling down from the stars when you're in that state of surrender. It's not going to come from, being in a space where you're looking at what other people are doing and just seeing your own ideas arise. It feels in some ways a little bit solo driven, although not alone, but more, it's just coming from you in this really pure kind of way. Okay, I'm seeing if there's this last thing that I can share. Okay, so if there are other things that you love to do that give you this sense of surrender, floating in a pool, I don't know, that's the only other one that's coming up for me. I know I forget what they're called, cryogenic flotation tanks. That's what I'm trying to think of. If there's things like that appeal to you, that feel very surrendery feeling, awesome. You can experiment with those too. And if I get a sense, I don't know if there's any trauma or childhood stuff or big struggles that you've dealt with before that feel like a wall or a block, but it feels that working with this this surrender and trust and childlike connection to the universe and wonder and just state of receiving and state of, okay, like it's going to fall from the stars and it's going to be for me to do, and I'm going to be this leader. That type of orientation is going to help dissolve any walls, trauma, hardness, limiting beliefs over time, because that won't be able to hold when you have this other strong vision and perception of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have just not that much time left. Do you want to, for the viewers, tell them how this sat for you, or tell me a little bit? Does any of this connect in any way for you?
Yeah, honestly, all of it resonated, all of it connected. So it all made sense. And part of the leadership piece and being able to not focus on others and being able to be more focused within. Yeah, it all resonated for sure.
Oh,
Very helpful.
good. Yay. Does it feel practical enough that I gave you enough that you could work with? That's not just like a theory of an idea.
Yeah, I think it's practical. Yeah, it's just that I think the message is slow down and surrender and be more in tune with what comes through rather than probably sticking in my masculine side, which is just how much work can I put out, right? How much can I do, and in the busyness, the hurried space.
Yes. Yes. And do you like your couch? Or I don't know why all this textile stuff was coming up, but
I
did
have
any
no
of that?
idea. No, I don't have anything that's necessarily. I mean, like, of course, I like my couch. I like the way that my home is decorated, but yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
why that is. Yeah, coming up, I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah, me neither. Well, and maybe it's just that you've created a home that feels supportive of you, that
Yeah.
maybe doesn't look like anybody else's home. So maybe your
Mhm.
work is similar too, in that's like your external creations that are also comfortable and
Yeah,
pleasing.
exactly. For sure.
Yeah. Oh,
That makes sense.
wonderful.
Well, thank you so much. This is amazing.
You're welcome. It really was delightful. And sorry, hold on. I think I might cough.
Okay.
Excuse me. If Feel free in the new year, if you want to reach back out, let me know how things are going. Let me know how it's working to use
Rendering.
any of the stuff. Yeah, the surrendering. I'd be curious to know, and feel free as well if you want to book a session or tell a friend, any of that. All of that is wonderful.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. This is awesome. Thank you for your time
Mm.
today, Rachel.
I am a psychic who helps people in business who understands business. And what I can tell you is if there are 5 things or 6 things that you're considering doing in your business and you wish you knew which ones not to do, together we can tune in and eradicate 3 to 5 of those. So you only have 1 or 2 things to focus on. Imagine the massive amount of time and energy and wondering this could save you. If you could just commit to the thing because you know that this is what's totally aligned with you and your business right now and this time, that moves you forward. That gives you so much action to pour into your business. Now, there's a playlist. You can look at other sessions that clients have had, and you'll notice time and time again, they get 1 to 2 to 3 specific areas that are green lights for them to work on in their business. Things that they can really focus on that are definitely going to help them. Occasionally, they also get the clarity on don't do these other things. It's not going to work for you. It's not in your best interest right now. How beautiful is it in this time and world of so many choices, so many options, to already have it narrowed down to these are things to focus on. These are things that are not going to work for you. And to have that extra bit of confidence, that stamp of approval saying, this also feels internally aligned. So not only are you thinking it, but this is what I'm reading from your energy field, from spirit, from the infinite field of possibilities that is maximally aligned for your potential. That's what makes life and business so much fun. So I am really looking forward to our first session together. May it be the first of many. Go ahead. There's the booking link below. See you soon.